Death. It's the one thing we all have in common, the great equalizer. Across the vast expanse of human history and cultures, death has held a unique significance. From ancient rituals to modern medical practices, the way we perceive and experience death varies greatly. Yet, there is a common thread. Death remains a mystery, shrouded in misconceptions and often fear. This video aims to lift that veil, to challenge our assumptions, and to reshape our understanding of death. To do so, we must first acknowledge the vast array of beliefs and practices surrounding it. In some cultures, death is celebrated as a passage into a new realm, a continuation of the soul's journey. In others, it is mourned as a profound loss, a separation from loved ones. Some view death as a failure, a medical defeat, while others see it as a natural, inevitable part of life. Despite these diverse perspectives, there are common misconceptions that permeate our collective consciousness. We tend to view death as a sudden, painful event, an abrupt ending to our stories. Yet, this is far from the universal truth. The reality is, death can be peaceful, expected, even welcomed after a long life or a debilitating illness. Palliative care and hospice services have revolutionized the way we approach end-of-life experiences, offering comfort and dignity to those nearing their final breaths. We must recognize that there are good deaths and that the quality of life at its end is just as important as the length. The fear of a painful death often stems from our first misconception, that death is the absolute end. This is a concept that has been challenged throughout time by numerous belief systems and philosophies. Many religions offer promises of an afterlife, a continuation of consciousness in a different form. Even outside of religious contexts, the question of what happens after death continues to intrigue scientists and philosophers alike. Studies on near-death experiences and consciousness suggest that our understanding of the human mind and its potential is still evolving. While the question of what lies beyond remains unanswered, one thing is certain: the impact we have on the world during our lifetime can outlive our physical presence. The legacy we leave behind, through our actions, our relationships, and our contributions to society, can continue to shape the lives of others long after we are gone. This realization offers a sense of purpose and meaning, a way to transcend the finality of death. Another deeply ingrained misconception is that death is a failure of medicine, a battle lost against disease or old age. This perspective, while understandable, overlooks the crucial fact that death is an intrinsic part of the life cycle. Modern medicine has made remarkable strides in prolonging life and improving its quality, but it cannot, and perhaps should not, conquer death entirely. Just as birth marks the beginning of our journey, death signifies its end. Our bodies, like all living organisms, are subject to the natural processes of growth, decay, and ultimately cessation. To view death solely as a medical failure is to deny the fundamental truth of our existence, to resist the natural order of things. This is not to say that medicine has no role to play. On the contrary, medical advancements have allowed us to manage pain, treat illnesses, and extend life in many cases. But we must acknowledge that death is not always preventable, nor should it always be prevented. There are times when further medical intervention may prolong suffering rather than alleviate it. In such cases, the focus shifts from fighting death to accepting it, providing comfort, and allowing a natural, dignified passing. The discomfort surrounding death has led to another misconception, that talking about it is morbid or taboo. In many cultures, death is a hushed topic, avoided in polite conversation and relegated to whispered discussions behind closed doors. This silence, however, does more harm than good. Open conversations about death and dying are essential for both individuals and communities. By facing our mortality head-on, we can gain a deeper appreciation for life, make informed decisions about our own end-of-life care, and provide support to those who are grieving. The death positivity movement has emerged in recent years, advocating for a more open and honest dialogue about death. This movement encourages us to explore our feelings about mortality, to plan for our own deaths, and to create rituals and practices that honor the deceased in meaningful ways. By normalizing conversations about death, we can remove the stigma and fear associated with it, allowing for healthier grieving processes and stronger community bonds. Another pervasive misconception is the notion that grief follows a linear path, a series of stages that we move through in a predictable order. This stages of grief model, while initially comforting in its simplicity, fails to capture the messy, complex reality of mourning. Grief is not a one-size-fits-all experience. It is as unique as the individuals who experience it, shaped by a multitude of factors, including personality, cultural background, relationship to the deceased, and the circumstances of the death. Some people may experience intense sadness, anger, or denial, while others may feel numbness, confusion, or even relief. There is no right or wrong way to grieve, and there is no set timeline for healing. The grieving process is often marked by ups and downs, setbacks, and breakthroughs. Some days may feel unbearable, while others may bring moments of joy or connection. The key is to allow ourselves to feel whatever emotions arise, without judgment or expectation. It is important to seek support from loved ones, therapists, or support groups, and to find healthy ways to cope with the pain. Intimately intertwined with grief is the fear of death itself. This primal fear is often rooted in the unknown, the loss of control, and the separation from loved ones. It is a natural human response, yet it can also paralyze us, preventing us from living fully in the present moment. While it's important to acknowledge this fear, we should also question whether it serves us. The constant dread of death can overshadow the beauty and joy of life, leading to missed opportunities and unfulfilled dreams. By accepting death as a natural part of existence, we can paradoxically find greater peace and meaning in our lives. This acceptance does not mean we become indifferent to death or stop grieving the loss of loved ones. Rather, it means recognizing that death is not an enemy to be feared, but a reality to be accepted. When we accept our mortality, we become more attuned to the preciousness of each moment. We are more likely to pursue our passions, cherish our relationships, and make choices that align with our values. In this way, the fear of death can become a catalyst for personal growth and transformation. This leads us to another prevalent misconception: that death is always tragic. While it's undeniable that death brings pain and loss, it's not always a purely negative event. In some cases, death can bring an end to prolonged suffering, offering a release from pain and a sense of closure. For those who have witnessed a loved one endure a debilitating illness, death may even be viewed as a mercy, a final act of compassion. It's also important to remember that death is not always sudden or unexpected. In the case of old age or terminal illness, death can be anticipated and even prepared for. This preparation can allow individuals to say goodbye, mend relationships, and find peace in their final days. By acknowledging the potential for positive aspects of death, we can broaden our perspective and approach end-of-life experiences with greater compassion and understanding. This nuanced understanding of death challenges another common belief that we should mourn indefinitely. While the pain of loss is undeniable and the grieving process can be lengthy, it is not meant to last forever. Honoring the deceased and allowing ourselves to grieve is essential, but so is finding a way to move forward. The concept of continuing bonds suggests that our relationships with loved ones do not end with death. We can maintain a connection through memories, shared experiences, and the enduring impact they had on our lives. Remembering and celebrating their lives can be a source of comfort and inspiration. It is important to find ways to integrate their memory into our ongoing lives, whether through rituals, traditions, or simply by sharing stories and keeping their spirit alive. The misconceptions surrounding death are numerous and deeply ingrained in our society. Yet by examining them closely, we can begin to reshape our understanding and approach death with greater clarity and compassion. The process of letting go and moving forward does not diminish the love we felt or the impact the deceased had on our lives. It is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, our ability to adapt and find meaning even in the face of profound loss. By honoring the deceased, cherishing their memory, and carrying on their legacy, we ensure that their spirit lives on in the world they left behind. Death is a complex and multifaceted phenomenon, one that defies easy categorization or simple explanations. The misconceptions we hold about it can hinder our ability to fully engage with life, to appreciate its fleeting beauty, and to find meaning in its inevitable end. By challenging these misconceptions and accepting the paradoxes of death, we can cultivate a healthier, more compassionate, and ultimately more fulfilling approach to life's greatest mystery. The journey through this video has sought to illuminate the multifaceted nature of death, a reality we all must face. By challenging common misconceptions, we've explored the potential for peaceful deaths, the enduring impact of our lives, the importance of open conversations, the unique nature of grief, and the paradoxical relationship between fear and acceptance. The path towards understanding death is not a straight line, but a winding road with twists and turns. There will be moments of sorrow, confusion, and even anger, but there will also be moments of peace, acceptance, and newfound appreciation for the gift of life. As we continue to unravel the mysteries of death, one thing becomes clear. It is not an ending, but a transition. It is a part of life's grand tapestry, interwoven with joy, sorrow, love, and loss. By accepting the entirety of this experience, both the light and the shadow, we can enrich our lives and find meaning in the face of the unknown. How do we, as individuals and as a society, accept facing the paradox of death? Death is both an ending and a beginning, a loss and a transformation. It is a mystery we will never fully comprehend, yet it is also the most universal human experience. Perhaps the key lies in shifting our focus from fearing death to celebrating life. By acknowledging our mortality, we become more aware of the preciousness of each moment. We are more likely to savor the simple joys, to pursue our passions, to mend broken relationships, and to live a life that truly reflects our values. This shift in perspective doesn't happen overnight. It requires courage, vulnerability, and a willingness to confront our deepest fears. But the rewards are immeasurable. By accepting the paradox of death, we unlock a profound sense of gratitude, resilience, and inner peace. We learn to live fully, love deeply, and find meaning in the face of life's greatest mystery. The path towards understanding and accepting death is a personal one, a journey that unfolds throughout our lives. While we continue to explore and learn, we invite you to reflect on your own beliefs and attitudes towards death. What misconceptions might you hold? How can you engage in open and honest conversations about mortality with your loved ones? And most importantly, how can you accept the reality of death to live a more meaningful and fulfilling life? Death is not the opposite of life, but a part of it. By understanding this truth, we can truly begin to live, not in fear of the end, but in celebration of the journey.